versus Zerg builds on. Speaking of Melle, he is spawning in the bottom left position here on Daybreak, fighting for lowline lands and himself.
And in the top right, from Team Knights, we have the blue Zerg. He is Rainman.
Oh, come on, you trust him more than that.
I guess they just needed a bit of a warm-up. That's
He
okay,
needs all the encouragement he can get.
It looks like Melle is not going to go for the gateway expand this time, unless he decides to throw it down at at his natural, which is kind of unusual. So I don't see him do that. And yeah, it's going to be Forge first.
This map is very, very safe with Forge fast expands. Even if you go Nexus first, as long as you don't scout anything fishy like an earlier pool than 15 or 14, you basically can afford to go Nexus first, and you'll still have your cannons just about barely in time finishing when the first lings skim by. I'm really interested to see. I think that Melle has that PvZ build he showed us on the previous map, which he won 1-0 on Whirlwind, so practiced, so hard, that I think he's going to do the same thing on this map.
Well, it's not the exact same build, but he can still, of course, go for the same strategy, Go into that quick gateway, 3 gateways, add on a Stargate, establish map control with the Phoenixes, and then just build on from there. Try to get a good third up, easy economy, tech into Robo so you can pretty much counter the Hydra tech, and at that point, Zerg is pretty much forced to then go into Spire and start making Corruptors or Phoenixes. And if you still have a nice Phoenix count, you'll be ready for that. So that's a very good game plan.
The Phoenixes, one of the perks Phoenixes give you is that they give you perpetual scouting. Like, you can scout at any point in time that you choose to, and you can get a complete scout. I mean, unless there is a sizable anti-air force waiting for those Phoenixes, they're not gonna kill them. So you can always know where your opponent's army is, unless there are Hydras or Corruptions, anything that hits air. And you have complete control over what your opponent is doing. You're keeping tabs up on him. So the Forge is finishing, Cannon is going to go down. The third base probably will be built as well, unless Rainman decides to risk it and go for a 2-base attack. But seems like it is not going to be that. He's going to put down that third base very, very shortly here.
Some very keen scouting there going on. Melle had this probe in his opponent's base the entire time, harassing drones, trying to steal a couple of minerals, doing a really good job. And we see the fast third, and that should have been spotted here by Melle because he saw that drone move down the ramp at the exact same time that there were 2 lings there in position to chase this probe away. And this probe actually, mission successful, gets home safely.
Gets home safely indeed. I just want to point your attention to all these nice nifty logos in front of the bases, like Lowland Lions having their own logo on the map.
I don't see the DSCL. Oh, there's one actually near the third.
Yep.
There's the DSCL logo there as well. So props to GameHeart for the interface we're using
exactly,
for this tournament.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to say. Huge thanks to the developer. So, Cybercore finishing up right now, and well, basically now we get to see what Melle has planned. He can still go for the same kind of general strategy, just getting the Stargate, getting up that Phoenix count, make sentries to help him stay alive, and gradually build up that 2-base saturation. And he is getting down the Stargate indeed, so he is going to go with the same exact strategy probably that he went with the previous game. And it was very fruitful for him because, he won the game.
Yeah.
What am I going to tell you?
Of course. And the main reason he can do this is because he saw that his opponent went for a quick third. So he's pretty much free to do whatever he wants. Of course, he delayed his Cybercore, in exchange of an early Forge. So his gateway attack is just slightly delayed.
Right, so right now we have a little bit of a Zealot harassment here going over at the third base. The Zealot will have to micro. A nice job there by Melle kiting back those lings, being very, very cost efficient there. Basically, as long as that Zealot is alive, those lings can't touch the Stalker and he can start leveling down drones, queens, but the Zealot does go down. First Phoenix is, however, already in production, but Lair is going down for Rainman. That's a fairly fast Lair, or rather fast-ish. considering this is a 3-base strategy, even foregoing speed, only just now getting the speed. So I think Rainman has a pretty good read on his opponent. He did not see the Stargate, but he sees those 2 gases going down. So he's probably judging by this that, well, there is no gateway attack coming here, so I don't need the speed that quickly. Instead, I'm gonna invest that gas into getting a quicker lair. He did get a Roach Warren though, just to be safe. And it looks like Melle, while keeping control of the map with the Phoenixes, is going to try and take a 3rd base. Already a pawn is down, and there goes the Nexus. So pretty much looking like the same overall plan, overall strategy that we saw on Whirlwind, just with a different opening.
Yep, going into Robo as well, and actually quite a bit of link pressure here, arriving at the 3rd of Melle. And I think he's going to have to cancel this Nexus because it's not going to be long for life. Now finally chasing these slow links away, I have to emphasize, because links without speed, they're not that scary.
No, slow links don't scare me the least bit. Hydra then going down as well, so practically... okay, so we are seeing maybe what is to be a repeat of Game 1, just on a different map. Now I wonder if Rainman will try to adjust anything, or if he tries to go for the same stuff, because he's fighting...
another link run by. We have another link run by, and once again, Nexus is going to be cancelled.
Yeah.
And this is really messing up Melle's state. Oh, he's actually going to get... He has to recall. He has to recall now. Or loses the Stalker, can lose the Zealots as well if he doesn't recall. And he's not, he just takes the trade. And to be honest, it's not that bad of a trade. It does if he loses the Sentry though. Is that Sentry going to go? Oh, it just lives with just a couple of HP left. So, of course, in this case, Rainman, he has no links anymore on the map. He's relinquished his map control. And he just didn't manage to cancel the 3rd once again. But he did also take out quite a few Zealots from Melle.
So let me see.
Phoenix.
We have a Hydrogen down. We're getting Hydro risks. Our opponent does have a Robo and a Colossus transition in place. We know he did this in Game 1, and we're going with the same composition against him. So basically, I think Rainman does have a chance because the map is different, the distances are shorter, he can catch those Phoenixes earlier on. He can get a huge concave on the Protoss army in the center of the map if he forces an engagement there. So I think if he maintains this course, he can get something done, but he needs to pick his engagement. That's the thing that's going to decide. The first battle is going to decide the remainder of the game, most likely.
He needs to realize that his opponent is not committing to air. He's once again making a lot of links and Hydras, which in general is not a bad composition, especially against gateway tech. But there is still no Spire on the way for the Zerg, as far as I can tell. And well, Hydras actually are moving very far to the front, and he might try an assault here on this 3rd. Well, Phoenix is flying right over the Hydras once gets taken out. Not too much of a disaster though, but now these Hydras come in, and
those Hydras have to be careful. They don't want to get caught off like they did in the first game, but this time Rainman being a little bit smarter as he pulls back very comfortably there, just in time to avoid that
so many links out on the map. He might go for another run by here in the 3rd, trying to get a snipe on it. We need to get crucial force fields.
I really like the thing that he's trying to pull his opponent apart here. He's not attacking at one location, he's constantly switching it between the 3rd, the natural, the 3rd, the natural. So Melle has to be a lot more careful this time around.
The first Colossus is now on the way, and it's a lot later than it was in the previous game, I'm sure. So at this point, Melle has 0 options to actually attack his own opponent's army. All he can really do is defend until he gets Colossus, until he gets Colossus range, and end the DPS that he needs to take out this Zerg force.
Oh my goodness. I just noticed something. Colossus range is not on the production tab, and it's not even, it hasn't been even started.
That's not good at all for the Protoss here. I mean, you need that Colossus range, and the Spire has just finished for the Zerg as well, so he can now he's adding on 9 Corruptors before even the first Colossus has started. So this time, Rainman is reacting accordingly to what his opponent is doing. He's recognized the same build, and he's countering adequately, getting a quick 4th once again, just to get that, oh, he's actually going into the 3rd.
Again. Not the smartest idea, but the force fields are in place. As I said, the range is not done, so those Colossi are not going to be as effective versus those Hydras, but This
Nice
is certainly
warp in.
not a fight Rainman wants it to take. This opens him up for a counterattack, actually, at this point.
Rainman once again attacking here too soon, overcommitting, losing too much stuff. There may not be any range, but with pure Colossi, you're not going to be able to hold this attack off.
Well, that being said, we do have 12 Corruptors, 6 more on the way, and for anti-air on the Protoss side, we have 5 Stalkers, 5 Phoenixes, and 4 Sentries. I think the Corruptors may just kill the 3 Colossi in time if they're positioned well, so very wisely here, Melle is pulling back, not wanting to attack straight up, warping in more Stalkers. This is basically the unit he's going to be warping for the majority of the next 2 minutes.
Corruptors coming in. There's one recall here on the Mothership Core, but it's only got shields. It's only got like 66 HP, so will be sniped very quickly if Rainman decides to focus it. Now takes down a couple of Phoenixes, focusing down the Colossus, but there's no ground forces here at
There's
all.
no range! The Colossi are too far forward, but still, no ground forces for the Zerg, as you mentioned, mean that the space is going to go down. It wasn't even saturated to begin with.
Yeah, and it seems Melle, he's realized this. Oh, you've only got air? Okay, I'm only gonna make ground units. He's making Immortals, and there's so much stuff. The force just goes down instantly, and he's heading straight towards the third. And what do we have? We have Lynx, Mutas, and a whole lot of Corruptors that can't shoot anything. Wow, this engagement here going actually, you know, there's a whole swarm of Corruptors over the Protoss army corrupting everything. But this fight still really seems to be going the way of Melle, taking out all these Lynx. Zealots tanking for these drones. Drones even fighting here on the map. Not something you want to have as a Zerg. And it seems like the third is also going to be cleaned out. Stalker's doing a lot of DPS with their 1-1 upgrades against the Zerg army here. The Ro8 is now being transfused even. But it seems like there's just not enough to hold on. A couple of Lynx and Ro8 in the production. And GG from Rainman. Melle takes him out 2-0. I like that side in the crown, guys. Show it again.
Show the sign, guys. Show the sign. Look at this. Look at how they love you, Melle. Congratulations.